Welcome, trainers, to the PokeSphere. We're your destination for in-depth Pokemon news, community discussions, and editorial content. We're passionate about this franchise, and we're here to share our insights and connect with fellow fans. So let's talk Pokopia again.
Oh no, you're just an ugly ditto.
So we just finished doing our previous episode of reviewing Pokopia, where we did a live reaction because I've not seen anything. And of course, at the end of the trailer, we got a sneak peek at a couple of variant Pokemon that show up. And so we're gonna do a quick overview of our thoughts of the designs, the ideas behind them, the potential for them showing up in Generation 10. So let's dive into it. So I guess we'll start off with the fact that the very first thing you see in the trailer is a very strange looking Tangrowth, which turns out to be Professor Tangrowth. And to be fair, to be honest, a Pokemon professor was not on my bingo card for games like this. So, I mean, right off the jump, I thought this was a very interesting idea, a bit strange, although I'm trying to figure out what's with the CD on his head. So, I mean, I really was kind of surprised by seeing this particular idea crop up. I mean, it should have been expected, because many games have a professor. For a game like this, a Pokemon professor was not on my radar. I think the overall design is pretty neat, though. I mean, they didn't really do too much with Tangrowth, except just give it, a white top?
Broken glasses, a TM on its head, and hopefully the move instruct.
Hopefully the move instruct.
Well, I do how they're only after trees and Pokemon Professor Tangrowth. I think it's a good idea to teach the Pokemon, about the world and how it's gonna be, and that's friendly too, which is pretty nice.
I mean, when I first saw it, I was a little bit confused because there's still the conflict of whether they're just trying to create characters, giving these forms to demonstrate more personality so that they're elevated from just the little pets and creatures that we collect, or if this is actually going to be some convergent form or evolution in a weird way, because we are being informed that this is well past the time when humans, Pokemon trainers, existed, at least in the specific area that the game is starting with. I'm hoping that we see some weird convergent, or maybe this is a branch evolution to a normal Tangrowth, even though it's still referred to as Professor Tangrowth. I mean, Gen 10 is still kind of a wild card, and with it being a big anniversary, I could see them doing the most wild things. I just think it's really kind of interesting to see them play with it, and the way that they use Tangrowth's little curly thing to give it kind of this Einstein appearance, and then drop the glasses down, brilliant in design work. Whoever actually designed that, great. The question mark holding the TM, yeah, I can't wait to see what this thing actually turns into. Not that I'm willing to actually purchase $70 just to figure that out.
I mean, you bring up an interesting point. I mean, look at Slowbro and Slowking. They are a branched evolution, very similar in look, but very different in how they approach. In a side conversation we had, which spawned this episode, you had mentioned that, what if this was a grass psychic type? Which, if they're going to follow up like that, I could see it. I can so see it. Then moving along, we get to see towards the end of the video what looks like a Smeargle, except they're calling it a Smearguru. And I am a longtime fan of Smeargle. It's actually one of my favorite Pokemon that isn't Charizard. Yes, I know. Leave me alone. Don't beat me up in the comment section. But that said, Smearguru, you can see the different colors on its body. The tail in itself has different colors as opposed to just the one dipped. It doesn't, design-wise, doesn't look like it differs very much, and I get that it's kind of meh, but I could imagine this being an evolution to Smeargle, and it would be absolutely baller if this was number one, an evolution that will appear in Gen 10, but also an evolution that utilizes a form of Protean the way it used to be, so that any of the moves that it can learn via Sketch would actually end up becoming type moves, so it would actually get stabbed, give it a bit more punch, so to speak. But that's just because, I am a bit, what's the word? Biased on this particular Pokemon.
I think if they're ever going to give me this as a real Pokemon, they're going to have to dramatically increase the character limits, because otherwise I don't know how I'm supposed to fit Pablo, Diego, Jose Francisco de Paulo, Juan Nepomuceno, Maria de los Remedios, Capriano de los Santismo, Riaz y Picasso into the 15 characters that you let me use.
Just call him Bob.
Shout out to Epic Rap Battles for that one. But otherwise, I don't see how this is going to actually be a form, because it's literally just can I devolve my Smearguru by hosing him off? If I get some Dawn and clean him up like one of the little oil spill duckies, do I just get a Smeargle back and then he loses that Protean or whatever advantages the form would have over a normal Smeargle? This is the one thing here that makes me think that these might just be characterizations as opposed to convergent form.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I like the new looks they gave the new Smeargle, and looks differently. And then I want to know what he's painting though, because he's painting something in the trailer at the end, right? But we don't know exactly what it is. So it could be a secret, who knows?
Yeah. Just to touch up on it, just remember though, the difference between Staryu and Starmie is that one has a couple more legs and went purple. So, I mean, as far as evolutions goes for designs, it wouldn't be the first time that game went a little bit on the phoning it in.
Have you ever tried to rip a Magneton apart? Doesn't work. But they're ones in it now. It might look like 3 Magnemites, but that's totally wrong. And have you tried digging out a Dugtrio? It goes on forever. I swear it don't.
I was about to say, I'm just 3 Dugtrios in a trench coat.
So a Starmie is just 2 Staryus that just became backpack buddies.
Well, moving along, we then get to see this little curled up white ball of fluff that unfolds to become Pikachu, which apparently looks like a ghost electric type. But it is kind of the first time where you have a very similar Pokemon for Pikachu. I mean, Mimikyu was kind of its own thing, trying to be Pikachu. But this is one that actually looks identical to a Pikachu, except it's called a Pikachu.
Yeah, I like this new form of Pikachu or variants of it because it's not the same look. And people are trying to compare it to Mimikyu because it's a ghost. It also is going to be a ghost electric type. And I wonder how each of these new form or variants is going to play a role into this game, because I think they will play an important part of it.
I can't cover this alone. So I really do have to set up my good friend Mimikyu. Buddy, we finally did it. Finally, you've reached the point where everyone loves you more than they love that stupid yellow shocking rat. And now it's his job to emulate all the love and admiration you get, buddy.
I mean, for me, I like the fact that they're bold enough to branch out like this. I mean, Mimikyu, every generation has a Pikachu clone. And a lot of people would probably say that Mimikyu is about as close as they were going to get to doing an off-shot Pikachu. But the fact that they did Pikachu and did the play on words as they should, I think this is a really bold step, and I think this is a really good step. I mean, I know we have Alolan Raichu, but giving it a branched evolution versus whatever this is supposed to be, I'm kind of curious on how this goes, how you go about if this is its own standalone Pokemon that just like Wiglet is for Diglett, if this is an evolution of Pichu. So only time will tell on that one. And finally brings us to Mosslax. And yeah, this looks like a grass version of Snorlax.
This thing looks like it got the sleep that I need in my life, and I'm sure most of our viewers can relate to this at this point in their lives. But that beautiful moss blanket looks so comfy. Look, so sweet. I'm like jealous of this big fluffy grass bear. I mean, its little cute flowers. Come on now. All the fun aside, this may be the biggest evidence I have to believing that these are going to be convergence that we see in future games, because this literally is what happens when a Snorlax can just chill and be left alone and not be woken up by a bunch of tiny-year-old kids that somehow gets a Pokemon flute and keeps telling him to go somewhere with his big self.
I like to just do 4 on Snorlax because it's different and not was something I was expecting of it. And then who knows how long it's been asleep. So I guess we'll see. And I'm sure there's a reason why it has the flowers on the head, why it's covered in moss too. So yeah, this is the story behind each of these. So I'm just can't wait to discover, what is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely screaming that whole normal grass type, which honestly, I like the fact that they're trying to do something a little bit different with some of the older Pokemon. I kind of wish they would do some more things like this with a lot of the older Pokemon that honestly have kind of fallen to the wayside because of the fact that there might have been like one-trick ponies, so to speak. But I mean, other than that, I think the boldness of just taking Snorlax and just kind of like, yeah, what happens if you never woke up? What would happen? Like they say. And so I like that this is the direction that they went, kind of a Rip Van Winkle type of deal. But yeah, as a whole, I think they're taking risks in Pokopia to see how well received they'll be. But I have almost no doubt in my mind that these same Pokemon variants that we're seeing are going to appear in Generation 10 because the draw of variant forms is so strong because it's part of what makes Pokemon that people are going to want to be able to catch these in the wild, or at least be able to use them to some extent. So I'm honestly looking forward to, number one, how they're going to apply these forms, or I'm sorry, if they're going to apply these forms to Generation 10 and how they're going to do it.
I'm thinking, since this Mosslax doesn't have any arms, right? It's got to be reasonable. I'm thinking, so it's been asleep for years, I guess. What happened to the arm? It has to be underneath all that moss, because there's no way this Snorlax can have no arms, though. And for them to be in their future generation Pokemon games, whether it's mainline, in mainline, and then that would be interesting to see how they were imported and see how they will evolve, or like have how we would attain this form, like how in the other Pokemon that has it.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. If these are conversions or characters or what's going on for the future of the franchise. I think it'd be great to see more Pokemon demonstrating personality and it somehow being expressed visually like this, whether it was us being able to do like armor or clothing for our Pokemon, or having their natures demonstrate some sort of visual change on them, similar to how the sexual dimorphism is demonstrated. Anything that allows you to feel more of a accustomed immersion with the Pokemon, with the creatures and the characters, is going to be a huge benefit that really makes this a custom and shareable experience, which is what Pokemon was all supposed to be about in the beginning, and why they have 2 versions of every main core game, and that dreaded link cable that we hate so much.
All right. And with that said, brings our episode to a close. What are your thoughts about these forms? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you want to see more of them?
Are you secretly a Pokemon?
Are you secretly a Pokemon? Are you hoping to see these in Generation 10 or maybe Generation 11 if it's too late to put them in? Let us know down below. Also follow us on X, Blue Sky. We're on Rumble, YouTube. We have our own Discord. And also be sure to share, like, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. And as always,
we'll see you in the next video.